And give me one, please. afternoon, good evening. We're about to start our special call meeting this afternoon, and first, we would like to have a invocation followed by a pledge of allegiance. Invocation by Councilwoman Smith.
Heavenly Father, we come to you today, Lord, just asking you, Lord, for a special blessing, Lord, at this special call meeting, Father God. We ask you, Lord, to continue to strengthen the growth of Bogalusa, Father God. Bless America as a whole. And Lord, we just ask that everybody be mindful of the rules of others and to respect one another in this meeting. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Salute pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next, roll call, please.
Councilwoman Smith? Here. President Gates? Here. Councilman Dunaway?
Here.
Councilwoman Temple? Here. Councilwoman Kellis? Vice President Irving?
Here.
Councilwoman Douglas?
And moving on, we have an ordinance approving and adopting the City of Bogalusa operating budget and capital budget for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2025. Okay, at this point, we do have, I make a motion. Thank you. At this point, we have any public participation?
On what?
I just mentioned, I just read on adopting, I can read it again.
Thank you.
An ordinance approving and adopting the City of Bogalusa operating budget and capital budget for the fiscal year beginning January 1st, 2025. Are there any public participation? We have a motion and a second.
Please say your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes.
Yeah, Chester, April 1907, Big Town Bar. Quick question is this the same paperwork that you gave out on the other council meeting and the, how did y'all amend anything? Are these figures still the same?
Well, it's primarily the same. We have a listing of what the changes are. I think we discussed the changes during the meeting, during the public hearing meeting, and we discussed the changes on our last finance meeting. I know that primarily we were to decrease 2% raise. There was an increase in the police department, which was left out. They had a part-time for $25,000, and I believe that's we deducted, decreased the salary for our council secretary because it included initially on the payroll allotment the 2%. So that was decreased as well. Mr. Weaver, do you know any other increases that we might have had significantly?
Increase or decrease?
Any changes, period.
That's about it. I will slight things, but that's the main thing. One additional officer part-time. I just changed the bottom line by $25,000, and the secretary's salary decreased a little bit, but that's all the personnel allotment. And that's pretty much it.
So what did we do with the cemetery?
The cemetery still at 5,000.
Correct.
We still have that number at 5,000.
So did you explain to us the other night that we had money that could be used because we do have some emergency stuff that need to be did at the cemetery, and I'm really kind of confused why you guys are leaving the cemetery just about completely out of this budget.
Well,
$300,000, but we haven't spent any of it. So when, as I'm preparing the end of the year, I have $5,000 left for the end of this year. Any additions we can make in 26. So we only have 3 months left of the year. So if they can get it, I think as the mayor said last meeting, it's not, the allocation, it's just getting the workers to go out there and do it. So the money's there for it. We just have to use it accordingly.
So you're saying 5 and 10, will that make it be 15?
So it's still at 5.
What,
That's 5,000. But then we got 3 months. So we've gone, basically what happened is we've gone 9 months, we haven't used any of it. So I did zero it out, I did have 5,000 in it.
But we had work orders in
Yeah.
for some of that money to be spent, but nothing got did. So that's what I'm saying is, right now, 5,000, we spending one day out there, getting no damn trees and all this stuff.
The normal work isn't included in there, so if it's just cut grass, that's a function of,
No, it's no serious in cutting grass out there.
yeah, so whatever else is needed. And again, I guess they can amend it later if they want to. But
Because we got probably hundreds and hundreds of people buried in the woods, 10, 20 feet in the woods. You know, we can't leave this out.
And Mr. Bailey, your contract, did you share the contract with the cemetery?
Well,
The cemetery?
I don't have it where the city needs to do their part and clean these people out of the woods. That's what you need to start at, okay?
No, I'm asking about your particular, are you paid contract to, I know at one time you were, we have to account for that too when we amend the agenda. I mean, because, of course, the council has not approved the contract, but I just wondered if you had a contract or not. Thank you. Any other public participation?
Please state your name and address for the record, and you have 3 minutes.
John McNabb, 202 Germany. I have a couple of questions. Whenever I last came to the meeting, there were some concerns over the expenditures by the department or the payroll by the department. And I think there was a discussion of potentially making an amendment to where the IT individual would fall underneath public works as pertaining to the budget, not underneath the mayor's budget. Was that amendment ever made to correct that, so that way it's accurately reflecting that the mayor's, not really, doesn't actually have anybody?
Well, to address that, there are many amendments that we have to make, and our 2026 budget will be coming out next month. Is it next month? Yeah, and a lot of the amendments we will be looking at. Excuse me?
Are we pausing, so that way I don't yield all my time for an answer? Are we pausing this?
Oh, yeah.
No, it's not that.
Yeah, you got the thing. Yeah. Go ahead.
Then I would like.
You want to answer, so.
Yeah, but if I stop and answer, then I want my time to stop. I know the mayor also asked for some, context to be added and included into that budget to clarify some miscommunications or misunderstandings with the previous budget. Do we have a page in this that was just put out? A lot of us are just seeing this because it was just put out. Do we have a page in here that dictates what, if any, changes have been made and the changes that were requested? And the council members that were present claimed that they were going to be looking at the job description of IT. Did that happen? Or no? And I will yield the rest of my time for answers to those questions.
no, it's not a statement in the budget pertaining to what you just said.
Okay, so did the council review that job description and make a recommendation after saying it would?
I think y'all should answer the questions that citizens are asking.
I mean, if he doesn't have a secretary, why are we putting it in the budget if he's got people working in his office that don't actually follow the purview of his office? I mean, it seems like everything that came out Monday, it could give the perception that we're trying to skirt nepotism laws by trying to put an individual in a different department than what they actually follow. And I don't think we want that perception. We've got enough on our back as it is. I don't think we need any more. Was it even brought to the other council members that weren't present to look over potentially this individual's job description?
Mr. Mayor.
Or is this just a prime example that I made on Monday that we're not being adequately represented and our questions aren't being answered?
And this actually, this IT position should not even be in personnel allotment. This person is a subcontractor. They're not a city employee.
Right.
Personnel allotment is for city employees.
Right.
So I would ask for somebody to offer an amendment to remove IT from my office.
As a member of the public, I second it, if nobody else will.
And I force it. Subcontractors, different than city employees.
I would like to,
By law,
excuse me,
you excuse.
I would like to get, legal advice on the movement of the IT person. It is mentioned that, there's nepotism done, okay, if he's placed, well, nepotism will be done if he's placed in the public works department. Right now, he is under the mayor's department.
That was the discussion that was meant to be had in the council, was to review, we were told, the public was told, that the council would review this individual's job description because IT should fall under infrastructure and maintenance.
I have not received the job description. You asked if everyone had,
As a member of the Parks and Rec Committee, I have to make public records requests anytime that I'm being stonewalled. Has a public records request been made to retrieve his job description?
so you said you did retrieve a copy of his job description, or you were wondering?
Well, you said that you haven't received one, I'm just asking.
No, I have not received a copy of his job description. I would like to have an adequate legal, opinion on this.
What, have you made a public records request?
Not just from someone's, indicating opinion.
Well, no, yeah, that was, I thought that's what was agreed on at the last meeting, was that y'all were gonna do that.
The IT person is, Anthony Jones. Inside, under the mayor's umbrella.
And that's what I'm trying to find out too.
So-
Mr. John, let me go back to the first question that you asked.
So we have all additional comments. Please let the speaker speak or the prospective council speak, please.
That's my fault, I wasn't speaking clear.
Okay, go ahead. Councilman Smith.
The council, actually, tried to obtain any information. I did ask, what was his job description, and was told that he had several, many different job descriptions, and he has that in his plan, and that's the reason why his salary is set to where it's at, and that may help
Oh,
to
no,
answer your question.
I'm not worried about the amount, it's about where it's falling under the
Right,
budget,
and
because
he
I'm feeling.
wanted to be removed from the mayor's, salary or his part of the budget to his own. and
No,
that's-
to the public works, because it's infrastructure and maintenance. Yeah.
So I guess it would fall under the umbrella of his several hats that he's wearing.
Yes.
But we also have an administrative department that can go under too.
But that may be out of our scope. Mr. Weaver can elaborate a little bit more because that's his expertise. And as your councilwoman at large, I'm just letting you know
Yeah.
that I did ask and I was told that he's wearing several hats. So that's probably why his budget has to remain where it's at. And Mr. Weaver, can you help clarify that for Mr. John and anybody else in the public that has concerns of why his budget is coming out?
Has anybody provided you with a written job description for this person yet?
Now, that is what I was gonna indicate.
Yeah.
I do know that, Mr. Jones indicated his position. I think Mr. Sanders was present that night, but we have not actually, the four positions that he carried, but we have not actually received the job description. And as you know, I do make a motion to move him, but we have to have legal counsel on where to move him. Because if he goes into public works, there will be nepotism. Nepotism.
And that's my concern with the budget, is that we need clarification on that before we move forward. Because if, like you said, if he does fall under public works and we leave him where he's at, it gives the perception that we are trying to skirt the laws
Okay.
And by trying to avoid nepotism, and that could open us to other legal issues by leaving him where he's at.
Mhm.
I'm not worried about, I just want to make sure he's where he needs to be in terms of the budget, so that way we don't get in trouble.
Right, we're definitely not trying to get in trouble. We're definitely not trying to get in trouble at all.
Yeah, I just,
It's hard
I
for the
think,
people, but it doesn't mean trouble, and I understand what you're saying.
I think that we need to table it until
However,
we
he
get
told me
clarification.
that he's under that particular, description that he's falling in, because he's wearing 4 different hats.
And I do think if we make that motion to move him from Mayor Tom's administration skirting, the money's not going to change. And I say that because if we table this tonight, I have to get, well, attorney's not here, but
I do have some input from Becky Hammond. This is not a legal opinion, I won't refer to this. We made a phone call to her, I think it was yesterday. She returned it this
Can you cut
morning.
your mic on?
Yeah. She made a phone, anyway, this is not a legal opinion,
Yeah.
but Becky Hammond, the auditor.
The independent auditor.
Right, the independent auditor, I want to get outside bird's view without going to the fiscal administrator. You understand what I'm saying, where
Yeah.
this is coming from, okay? To be fair to y'all.
Yeah.
And who said what, okay? Becky said that she does other municipal accounting.
Mhm.
She has never seen IT under Public Works.
Okay.
It can fall either under the mayor,
Mhm.
or it can fall under administrative, such as where Ms. Shannon and all them are.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? On that end, one or the other,
Mhm.
and she says that that's how it's done at other municipalities.
Okay.
Now, that's what she told me today, when that came from Becky Hammond.
Okay,
now I
well,
do believe that our other
And
administrator,
there was reasons behind why.
do you have any documentation to
I do.
verify that with Ms. Hammond?
It's just a verbal.
Yes,
Okay.
she will be able to send something, but I do believe if you go and look into our budget for 2024 and view exactly where the IT person was, they, I have to go and look at it, but I believe it was not under the mayor's,
That's what
umbrella.
all we're looking at on the big TV screen and about a week or so, right?
No, the 2024 budget for last year. But my question to Mr. Weary, if we move the IT under, say for example, administration, would that be a reasoning, to table the entire budget? Or,
No, because it can be changed when he's making the,
well, I'm asking Mr. Weary, what do you know?
No, it wouldn't change, you just have to move it from one department to the other. So the actual numbers would be the same.
So we're making the motion tonight, and it will say if it will be accepted or not accepted tonight. So if it's accepted tonight, okay, we still can go, proceed with our motion.
The numbers won't change, it's just changing the department.
That's right, okay.
So my concern is, we were told that there was going to be an investigation into where this individual's job description fell.
And that's,
There was going to be people looking into what his job description was and what department he should fall under. And I think that that should be correctly represented. And I think that the budget should be tabled until that is done, because we were given that word. And if the council members who were there don't do that, I don't know how we can take words that don't follow action.
well, it has been, somewhat, I don't remember your wording of investigation, but there has been, Councilwoman Smith, Councilman Irvin has spoken to folks on the status of the IT. Now, I have gotten Ms. Hammond on the phone before,
Okay,
and I can call her now.
okay.
Let me see.
But that's still,
We can sit here and go,
You said exactly what?
we can sit here and go round and round, but
that still
the crux of
doesn't
the
give us
issue,
an accurate job description.
Okay, hold on, I'm hearing the mayor and I'm hearing you. Mayor Trump.
Sorry.
the crux of the issue is this. No matter where he goes, he needs to get out of my office budget.
Right.
It has been made very clear that my staff has been cut, So therefore, the only person that should be in the mayor's office budget is the mayor. Separately, we're going back and forth about job descriptions, but I'm pretty sure those of us who have done our research as elected officials have read the fiscal administrator's report. In that report, he details what Mr. Jones' job is. Two of the main areas of his job, since we're talking about people wearing multiple hats. People have been wearing multiple hats in this city for a long time, but they still go primarily where their job should be. One of the main things is IT. That should not be in the mayor's office. The second main thing is mosquito abatement. Now, whether or not that's true about mosquito abatement, that's what the fiscal administrator said his job description is, so therefore he should be in public works. I don't care what anybody has saw in anybody else's budget. They don't have a subcontractor doing this many things for the city. So therefore, our CPA's opinion, while I respect her opinion on financial matters, it does not come into play here. We're, again, trying to make apples into oranges. At the end of the day, two of the main issue areas in which he focuses on should be within public works. If you go read the city charter, the public works director is vested with the power of facilities, with the power of the city's infrastructure. IT, i.e. servers, computers, Wi-Fi networks, that is digital infrastructure. Now, we can sit up here and play wordplay all day, but at the end of the day, this guy has to get out of my budget and he needs to go where he's supposed to go, because no matter where you all put him, the ethics board will be opining on whether this is nepotism. It doesn't matter where somebody is placed in a budget. It's about what job overlap they have. And we'll let the ethics board decide that. We don't need a legal opinion. They'll be our legal opinion, because there's too much nepotism at this city, and we pick and choose. If I were to go and hire a family member, that would be a problem. As Ms. Kay said, you put in an ethics request when I hired the city attorney, even though he did not meet the state's nepotism law. So I'm going to need that same level of vigor and that same...
Yes, because you asked me to, Mayor.
I did not.
Yeah,
I'm
yes.
going to need that same level of vigor and dedication when it comes to these sort of situations.
That's text message.
And then my main thing is just the constant misrepresentation of facts, and I want to make sure that we're not doing that with this budget. Because if this individual does not fall underneath the mayor, we don't need to be representing him as such. He might not fall underneath public works. He might fall under administration, and that's fine. But it needs to be properly represented. Because Monday I saw a propensity for a proclivity to continue to misrepresent facts. And alternate reality, whether you accept facts as they are, it doesn't matter. Wherever he's supposed to be at, he needs to be. Trying to sit there and make it look like the mayor has a staff by doing this, it doesn't look good for us. We're already in enough trouble as it is.
Okay, thank you. Who's next?
I would just like to piggyback on Mr. John, and I know that you stepped down, but to liberate some of the time. I first was elected by the people in 2015. IT did vote on the mayor correct budget, and I don't recall, it's been years, citizens even concerned about what IT bought. But that's neither here nor there.
I will
We're
also
in
say that-
2015.
Okay, one moment, Mrs. McNeil. We have another person after you, Mrs.
But I
McNeil.
just want to make,
We have to have that person next.
I just want to do a little clarification. 2015, where IT was, and I'm going to be quiet, President Kate, as you have asked me to do, but also we have had persons, citizens, to come to the microphone and speak, and it's on record, stating that they had a job given to them, and they created their own jobs. So when we go to picking and choosing, let's just be fair across the board here. Because we don't want to go back and forth different and make it like the citizens are uncompetent, the council are incompetent, and like you said, we're not trying to get in trouble, we're just trying to do what's right. So thank you for pointing that out, so we'll get that messed out, and thank you, President Case, and I'm going to be quiet as you have instructed me.
I appreciate that clarification, just
Thank you.
to respond to part of the statement. I didn't personally interact about the IT position at the time, especially considering that whenever she first took office, I offered to come in and do the job for free, and I was told that it was
I
free.
remember you came before.
Yes.
despite the fact that I have more degrees than most people in this town.
And I believe it, and I know that you are well equipped to do that job. Hopefully, you will be able to do that job. However, in 2015, IT did fall under the mayor. This gentleman who's IT is wearing several hats. So you are right, we want to make sure that no one is getting in trouble, including Mr. Jones, that he's not getting in trouble, because we already have a lot going on. We're trying to move the city forward, we're not trying to move the city back. And I thank every citizen that gets up and speaks, because y'all are concerned. And I do thank y'all. I don't want y'all to think that I, Tamara Smith, Councilwoman at Large, do not thank y'all. And thank you for helping us to point it out. But I just like to be fair across the board, no matter if you're black, white, male, or female. IT, to my knowledge, has always fallen under the mayor, but this guy is wearing several hats.
Ms. Evans.
Name, I guess, correct.
Good afternoon, Amy Law Adams, 1624 Bateman Drive, Bogalusa, Louisiana, 74227. Good afternoon. Basically, I would like to share various public records as of March 25th, and it's signed by our fiscal administrator, what Anthony Jones' duties are. I, too, as a former city employee, wore several hats, and my salary was taken from administration. Per the public record director, the report that was given to us, he was under administration. So my question is, when was he moved, and by whom was he moved back from that department? He was in administration, his role.
And you're looking at me, so I would just have to say that when he received these several hats, like you were several hats, and you were equipped in your training, highly educated, and it's like we never duplicated. So sometimes we as the council, we are presenting the budget, and we have to ask these questions sometimes just like you, we're citizens just like you, Lord. When he received more than one job, he was moved over to a different, different description. So that's why he's falling under the mayor's salary. But as you just heard the mayor say, he would like for him to be removed from there. He's only going to be one in that particular area, the budget. So, and we're getting ready, 2026, everything will be moved over. And Mr. Weary could elaborate more if you have any questions from the expert. He's highly educated in his field too.
Yes, he is. Basically, just going back to my public record request, if you guys would take the opportunity to get that, you will see what he was contracted to do and for what. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
I'm not getting this. One minute we're saying IT has always been in the mayor's budget, then we're saying that it's been moved. Just to clarify, IT has never been under the mayor's budget since I've been here. If I remember correctly, the last budget that Mayor Correct passed, all she had in her budget was a secretary and a public relations person. So I don't remember IT ever being under the mayor's office. Nonetheless, we keep saying for 2026, we're in 2025. Make the motion, vote on the motion, move him out of the mayor's office, and we can move forward. There's no point in keep going in circles when clearly there is one clear answer here. Additionally, citizens are texting my phone saying that they can't access the live. I think we need to look into that because there's constantly technical problems. The video quality is off a lot. The audio quality is always a problem, and citizens from all over complain about that in the comments meeting after meeting. I think if we're paying $1,600 a month for video services, the quality should reflect that.
You can only hear every other word. That's why we.
Could you come to the mic, please?
She stated that you can only hear every other word in the live stream.
I'm gonna reflect on it, if they don't care, we gotta be careful using the word they, because they mean everybody as a whole. For those that don't know what they mean everyone as a whole. And I think the city stands as a whole, not the body. We're all as on one accord.
All right, Mr. Farrell, you have the floor. Please state your name and address for the record, sir.
Faith Farrell, 1931. We supposed to be on one accord, but we're not on one accord. And I like to ask Mr. Weir, did you say earlier that we have $26,000 for the graveyard?
5,000.
5,000?
The cemetery, sir.
Only 5,000. Okay, if we got 5,000, I don't think the graveyard should be looking the way it's looking right now. You council needs to get here tomorrow morning and get somebody to clean those graveyards up. Because they look ridiculous.
Well, Mr. Faith, I don't know the last time that you've been in there, but I do have my cell phone from where my brother and myself and my son was just recently out at the cemetery doing what we can. Most of the people do buy those properties, they do belong to them, but we did our best to clean up the front area. They do have the trash cans right now. Somebody took upon themselves just to throw trash at the front entrance, and we did pick that up. So as of today, it does look a little bit more presentable, but I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying, because yes, it needs to be done. And I have the pictures in my phone, and I will show you after the meeting, but I truly agree with you.
And I agree with you as well, Mr. Faith. I've been involved with the cemetery for many years. And as I said at the last meeting, we are populating some folks to go out to the cemetery. Before I had the veterans to go out. So we're asking the veterans to go out and gather, as well as those individuals that are already volunteering. They're going to Panama, and they have contacted me to go over to Bogalusa Cemetery as well. Also checking into that agreement that we've done with the WCI, the prisoners. There are many work orders that have gone out, and we found and many work orders that we submitted probably within the year or less, and those work orders have not been fulfilled to go to the cemetery. Even though the individuals that purchased those plots are responsible for those plots, we're still responsible as well, because a lot of people aren't even here in Bogalusa anymore to take care of their loved ones' cemetery plot. So yes, that's something that we're working on. Also, we're going to have our youth, and not saying this is something that the youth has to do, or not belittling the youth, but we have the actual band that's established again on weekends to go out with the youth to help take care of our cemetery. They haven't had transportation since July of last year, but we just found out recently they got a van for months ago. And the folks that's working out of, I believe, Mike Freeland's office, they're going to be starting going out with the cemetery. And if we can gather up people as council people for both cemeteries, we need to go out. People have ideas proposed where they can go in and mow over the actual plots, lay them down flat. That will make it easier, from what I understand. So we're going to try that, and some other things we're going to try. And we got to keep in hand. We ask for parents to go out there, because we have a lot of littering in our cemetery. People taking couches and chairs and everything out there and just putting it in the cemetery. So we can get some assistance with that, you know, of having cameras to go out for the cemetery to monitor that. I believe that would help as well. That is something that's needed. Most cities, their cemeteries are, I know I'm going into your tank. Most cemeteries, they're neat, they're clean, they're respected areas of the city, but not those.
I like to say this here. When the mayor was in charge, the mayor kept the cemeteries clean. Since y'all appointed this special master, as you all call it, this guy did not keep the cemetery clean. You all try to keep the mayor in order to do things right. Why you all got to keep this guy making him do things right.
Well, I know me myself,
I feel a difference.
my work orders are submitted to the
I
administrator.
feel a difference. Y'all not treating this mayor right. This mayor was doing a great job, and you all disrespected what he was doing. And this guy here not doing a great job. It was told in Baton Rouge that he's not doing a great job. So y'all need to get on board.
Yeah, it was 50 when you looked at it.
You didn't, you know what happened when he could have been going. Didn't they want to tell the truth? You don't need to tell it. Because everybody knows what's going on in Bogalusa. You all not doing y'all job.
Thank you, Mr. Farrell. Anyone else?
Good afternoon, Ms. Harry.
Barbara Harris, 1601 Sullivan Drive. I just want to know if the upkeep of the city of Bogalusa in the budget. Because the city look like it's been deserted, and the workers still getting paid to not do their job, because the job is not being done. With the mayor got mowers for them to mow the city, the roadsides going up. The roadsides are going up, trees growing on the sidewalks. No work has been done in the city. I don't see no mowers going nowhere in the city, but the people are still getting paid, and y'all still got it in the budget. So what's going on with that? Why the workers are not working? Why the city just growing up and nobody's doing nothing about it? I tried to talk to my council person. She turned her head and looked the other way. But I'm talking to you, the president, you need to get your council people in line and get some work done in this city.
Thank you, Ms. Harris. Anyone else?
And Public Works has been out mowing, by the way. They have been out mowing. I've been watching, me and Councilman Gonzalez watching.
Thank you, I am 1624 Bayfront Drive, Bogalusa, Louisiana. This question I would like to direct to Mr. Reggie so I can get clarification. As of today, how many 1099 workers, or 1099 or contractors or subcontractors does the city have presently today?
4.
4. Is that only in administration, or is that throughout the city of Bogalusa, all employees?
3 in administration, 1 in sewer department.
So you're projecting that you can hire 23 more individuals in this budget this year? It says unfilled positions, it says 23, and you've allocated funds for that?
I have not.
Okay. So this 6 million is not the 23 in there?
6 million is, the 6 million is more or less what we have in Florida now. I think the only department that I had 2 extras was for the fire department. They were trying to hire 2 more people, but everybody else is pretty much
Okay.
still.
Well, what I see, it says total allotment, and then it says 170, but you're saying you did not budget for the 170 in what we see as a total?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
So in each department, the allotment, total allotment, unfilled. So the field positions, that should be about the same number. 22 public workers. 31. No, I didn't.
So where did we come to say that we're no longer in debt? I mean, we're saying we only have, what, $850,000 compared to the million that we said previously in your...
So in this budget, it's showing a $1.7 million surplus. And that's throughout all funds.
That's true.
That's all funds. On page 21. So the net change in fund balance, $1,694,760 is the projection here.
So are you projecting a deficit or?
Surplus, no ma'am.
I don't see, I still don't see
So
the math.
what you have is, The fund balance on page 21, the last 3 lines on that page. So you have, if you go across the projection for 2024, on the third from the bottom line is a $576,000 surplus. The ending unaudited amount is a deficit of $4.3 million. And then you come across to the 2025 number, the third number from the bottom, on that page is a $1.6 million surplus projected for 25.
Like I said, I don't think numbers, but I still see a deficit throughout the budget. Thank you.
So let me kind of clear this up to you, Mr. Aguilar. So in the general fund, if you see in that same page, it's going to show a $607,000 surplus in the general fund. The majority of the surplus is in special revenue. And those accounts, they can only be used for specific items. So you have the capital fund, the street fund. So if we do any street projects, if we do any capital projects, then that number will decrease, but I'm not sure if we're going to do any of that this year, so that balance will just carry over to 26.
Have we not already done it?
We don't have any projects planned this year. I think the street project that we have is coming from a grant, so it's not costing us anything. If we have to put a match up, then we can take that out of those funds. Our capital improvements, we don't have any capital projects approved as of yet. I know they're saying that I think the 1.7 was allocated, but it hasn't been funded. So whatever the amount for the school pumps. So I think it's approved, but it hasn't been, we haven't received. So that number doesn't show in this budget either.
So that's a USDA law?
Yeah. And then we also, they went in and did a $1.5 million debt anticipation loan, a revenue anticipation loan, that if we have this 1.7, we don't need that $1.5 million. But that is there in the event that we run short. So that's like a $1.5 million line of credit that was approved also in August.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Is there any more public participation?
Hello. My name is Rosie Levice. I live at 925 Middle Plains Road, Louisiana.
Yes.
I'm not quite sure how this works, but I heard all the things, some of the things that people are asking for. And my thing with Bogalusa is there are no sidewalks. When our children walk down everywhere, there's no sidewalks. When our children walk down Marshall Richardson, there's no sidewalks. Even going to Columbia Street, from Marshall Richardson up to Columbia Street, there are no sidewalks. And I'm quite sure there are sidewalks needed in several other places in our city. But I think that our city should think about putting their budget to add sidewalks to our street, and maybe even some bike ramps. Because, I mean, when I'm driving, especially at nighttime, Marshall Richardson is dark, and you can't see people till you get right up on them. And so I'm afraid that, if either put lights and a sidewalk and a bike ramp, especially with the sidewalk. So that's my concern, folks.
Thank you. I would like to say, Mr. Elias, at one time, we have a grant in for sidewalks, so we have to check to see what the status is. However, as I repeated earlier, we'll be amending this, we'll be bringing forth the 2026 budget, and perhaps we can look to see where we are, in that area, and look to see where that particular grant is pertaining to sidewalks.
I think y'all working on it, but I just think that sidewalks are important.
They're very important.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am, I can speak to the sidewalk grant. So my administration procured that through the Safe Streets.
Yes.
The Safe Streets I need amen. Through the Safe Streets program, through the Department of Transportation, it was going to connect from The YMCA on Avenue B connected to the sportsplex. We had planned to come to Marshall Richardson or somewhere in that area next. But as of now, I believe we have lost the grant because they haven't heard back from the fiscal administrator.
That's something we can pose, because I know the council, we voted on it unanimously, and that's something really, we need to check on that to see where we are. Anyone else?
I have a question just to provide clarity. John McNabb, 200 You mentioned a $4.3 million deficit. That's on page 21. Is that the unaudited figure for the end of 2024? That is, okay. And is that the result of the fact that the ad valorem taxes weren't received until Q1 of 2025 because the bills went out late because there was some delay in approving the software changes? Okay, just making sure that we're all on the same page. Appreciate it.
And that's the point I was making Monday. We keep screaming a $5.7 million deficit, and it's mixed signal from the fiscal administrator, because one minute, we're in a bad spot, and we're in the city in the hole. We're having to pick which vendors to pay. Now all of a sudden we're going to have a 1.6 or whatever the number is surplus. Where did that money come from? Because there has not been a huge reduction in staff. If you count the administration that was wiped out, they've been replaced with subcontractors, and the new hire report shows 23 new hires. I mean, so we're saying, oh, the city is in a bad spot, but our actions are showing the exact opposite. So we're even adding part-time employees to departments. I mean, that just speaks to we're not in a bad spot. And if I were a council person, I wouldn't be voting on these numbers. I think that the amount of research, per se, from past years is going out the window, and we're just taking these numbers for what they are.
So just for clarity, if those ad valorem taxes had been sent out, if the bills were sent out in a timely manner, and we had received them in December like we should have, we would not be looking at a $4.3 million deficit. We'd be looking at about $300,000 surplus at the beginning of Q1, more or less, or approximately.
Right, so Mr. Weir can answer from the city perspective, but I've had finance professionals take a look at it, because I don't like being accused of a $4.6 million deficit, and they've stated that after they combed through it, they projected $160,000, so it's $140,000 off from the $300,000, but it's still a surplus.
Okay.
The assessment for legislative taxes, 4.5 billion. 4.5. Not saying that we've gotten it all. Yeah, that's pretty much every year for, I think our millage is 42, and our property assessment is 107 million.
Do we have the figure of what we actually received in ad valorem in January or Q1 of this year?
January, and it was the end of the month, it was about 2 million we got, like, I think right before it was the legislative water meeting. So, but it just took a while for the press to get on.
Yeah.
But if you look on page, at the beginning of the budget, it shows what the assessment of what we anticipate getting from the advertising taxes this year, and it's on page 12. That's the millage amount, and it's broken down into. Hold on 1 second. But it equals out to about 4.5, and we get about 10 million from sales tax.
Okay. So I guess just the main thing I'm making sure I understand is that if everything,
Yeah, in a perfect society, this year.
in a perfect world, if everything would have went out in a timely manner last year, we wouldn't have that.
Yes, sir.
Would have made it a lot more difficult for us to run under fiscal administration. Okay. That's just what I wanted to make sure.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else?
Yeah, just 1907 child law. I just want Mr. Reggie to elaborate a little bit on the state source on the bill tax and the state, inmate housing. Hey, could you explain that a little bit?
Page
22.
All right, so which two you saying, the bill tax?
The bill tax and the state inmate housing.
All right, so the beer taxes that the city gets, we get taxes off of alcohol that's consumed within the city. So every gallon or every 5 gallons of alcohol is a tax that the city receives money on. So that is, what the 17,000 is our percentage of what is remitted back to us off of the sale of alcohol within the city. The inmate housing, we house DOC prisoners at the jail, so the state and the parish pays us to house those inmates.
How many do we have?
I don't know exactly how many, but I know
We have 3 DOC, and I think 18 parish.
so 21. And then they're equipped, how many, what's the maximum amount?
They have a whole
You know, the more residents we have, the more inmates we have, the more revenue we get from them.
So the ones that we have is likely to be in the budget that you got, the money that we received. So that makes this in the budget correspond with the inmates that we have now.
Yes, sir. Well, that was as of June 30th. So again, the numbers that I was projecting out was as of the midpoint of June 30th.
Gentleman, Bogalusa, Louisiana. Well, I want to say that I attended that thing over in Baton Rouge on Monday. I've noticed on several city council meetings, Mr. Bob Gibson had showed up here at all. But he went to Baton Rouge, and after it was several questions brought to him about his attending here, and the words he spoke, I don't have time for them peoples. And he was speaking of you all, not the secretary, not the councilman. And all the time this man is going through criticism, reject, and all that. I've never heard this message. I don't have time for them peoples. He always try to work with y'all. He always try to work with his councils here. He tried to work with Bob Missy, but Bob think he missed the ball hard, then doesn't get to fix him. And we like, I would say you need to just go ahead on the side. And I can like the statement that you made on that, Mr. Irvin. At the end of that hearing, they got some youthful questions, and you're doing pretty good. So after the end, you're going to throw about 2 people that have been arrested lately. But I never heard you mention about all that happened with the last day when she had a rape and drinking and driving, and nobody's never said anything like that, but you want to throw it out on other people, you know? And that's not right. You want to get yourself together and let's try to take this city forward instead of trying to hold it down and let the good boys y'all get away from it, because it's causing y'all a problem. You actually can't see it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Anyone else? Yes? Yes, sir.
Richard Corsetti, 769 Marshall Richardson Road. I want to mention, I heard some man got up there on Monday and said we owe him $30-something thousand for the community center plans or something that they've been doing, and Mr. Nielsen wasn't going to pay them. Did anybody know about that?
I left.
You left?
I had to leave. I had to go on personal case. I don't know if anybody else.
So what's going on about it, Mark? Anybody ever talk to you about it?
No, but I will tell you this much, that the particular developer, and the only thing I can state, and please y'all don't cut me off, let me finish. So the only thing I can state about the gentleman, the administration, or whoever's running the front end services over here, told me that they cut him a check for $200,000 for courthouse repairs that was voted on by the council, the same company. that's claiming they want $30,000 for a community center that may or may not be built, that the state may or may not fund. So my question is, where is your courthouse renovations that the council did approve? Now, that's a good question. I would be answering that, Mr. Purcell. Thank you.
Can you clarify, what did you say
What did
about
you just
home
say?
repairs and $200,000?
That Situs Development, the same guy that was contracted, the same guy has been contracted to do courthouse renovations, which is mainly the bathrooms. We, the council voted on that, Mayor. And we have paid this gentleman, and work is not yet started. And that was a while back.
Now, I wasn't there, but I do recall, since you mentioned the name, that the same company was to do our restrooms outside. And there was funding cut for the restrooms outside, ADA type upgrades, and they have not been done yet.
I remember that. I was surprised no one really checked into it. I mean, you guys voted on it, and then you didn't check into it. You just let it slide. I don't know where that slide.
What do we let slide?
Huh?
What do we let slide?
They never came back to do anything. And you don't
Well,
have
I
any
did
answer.
check into it. I saw checks that was made out to them.
Right.
And I'm looking right outside and saw
Right.
they were not done.
What about our attorney? Do we need to go after them, or do they have in their contract how long it's gonna take them to do it?
So basically,
That's what I'm talking about. Mayor, do you know anything about that?
yeah, so basically there was a hiccup at FPC, which is Facility Plan Control. They're a part of the administration, the state administration. They went before them project. They were told that they had to go get approval from a House committee and a Senate committee. They went and got that approval back in January, the end of January. By the time they received the approval and the conditions to move forward, the city administrator refused to pay them, which is why they haven't started the work. These projects cost a lot of money. I think the bathrooms itself, the project is like $250,000. The design for the community center is almost $1 million. The state covers a portion through capital outlay. We cover a portion, but the city has refused to pay the remainder of its portion. So the contractors have not started the work, and that's the concern they brought forth on Monday before the Legislative Audit Advisory Committee. And the council understands that these people are not being paid, but instead they're saying, oh, look over here, as they always do. The point remains, yes, they were paid for bathrooms, but they were not paid the totality of the design fund for the bathroom. So if you're a contractor and your client is not paying you, you're not going to go and start construction on something when you're owed money for design. And Mr. Irvin, I asked you to clarify because you stated something about they were cut checks for 4 houses. I know y'all just heard him say that when he first came to the microphone.
Courthouse.
Yeah, for the courthouse out here, though.
Got you. Well, I'm glad you clarified that.
Okay, I thought you said 4 houses.
I'm glad you clarified.
And matter of fact, let me clarify something else too. Mr. Silas there was only discussing the $30,000 for the community center. He never brought up about the courthouse bathrooms. And that was not, that's on the video now. He never discussed all that because he said he was going to seek legal action because of the, that's what they said.
If you look at the invoices, it includes amounts for the bathrooms and the community center. They're one company, they're billing for 2 projects on the same invoice. They haven't been paid for either project.
Oh, so they're all.
And I would like to say another reason why they may not have been paid. I'm sorry. Yeah, another reason why they may not have been paid is because we became on the non-compliance list. The community center was under the HB2 bills that the senators had allotted for the city of Bogalusa. I think it's over $10 or $11 million for that community center. And prior to getting that funding for the community in routing getting that funding for the community center, we fell into the non-compliance list. So we lost those grants. We did lose those grants, but, for those folks to start their work, we still have to come up on a way on how we have to pay them, even though we had lost it under the non-compliance list, all the grants that we lost because we were on that list.
Okay, but with the 30,000 that they want, would that make them do bathrooms? Since you paid 200 grand already?
I'll have to look at their invoice.
I would look it up and see, maybe we can get our bathrooms done here. You know? Instead of the community center, if that's out. I'm sure they may work with you if they look at another 30,000.
I don't think the bathrooms was under the grants for the non-compliance that I know of, unless they fell under the water grant. You know, that was just an agreement that we had with those folks.
I think you need to look at the contract and see what we can get, right, Mayor?
That's not right. The state also gave money for city hall renovation.
Thank you.
That's what I mean.
That was.
Which is under the bathrooms, okay, that's correct.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mayor.
Excuse me, can you let me talk?
Yes, I can let you talk.
Well, you cut me off and start stating your piece.
Okay, Mayor, talk.
I'm saying that money was,
Talking about the administrator talking back down.
Gloria, get out.
Nope.
Like they threw you out at the thing for your telephone. Well, get out.
Nope.
Let the mayor talk.
Go ahead, Mayor.
that money was also allotted, I think it was $260,000 through city hall renovation, so it was to make the bathrooms ADA accessible. I don't know for sure if the money has gone away completely, it might have just dropped down in priority because there are different priority levels when it comes to capital outlay funds. So that is something that the council should look into.
All right, thank you, Mayor, thank you. Gloria? Thank
Yes,
you all.
I'm only agreeing
Oh,
with him.
my other thing-
I stand corrected.
My other thing is, Green, is that meeting with that I mentioned back in April with Mr. Dunaway here for the fixing the roof. It still ain't done, and we're ready to have a hurricane soon.
Our enforcement officer went to court and dropped the case against the city. The enforcement officer we have, whoever she is, they went and said everything was good, he complied with everything. That's why the judge kicked it out. Checked on the whole thing.
Wow.
I'll go see the judge. All right, thank you very much.
John, I told you, that just a whole new set of doors that I just kind of want clarification on. Councilman Earl, you said you weren't aware that the fiscal administrator had not paid these people?
No.
Okay. Now, previously we all met here about buses that went surplus and you claimed that you didn't have any knowledge of it. Now, since you wanted to refer to the video from Monday, on Monday you mentioned that the council has been in close working partnership with the fiscal administrator. So if you're telling the state that you know what's going on, but you're telling us that you don't, I need you to pick one of those and stick with it.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. Pick a side and say it. Lip lock.
John Sanders, question, I'm looking at your numbers here, and I'm looking at, this is for the airport, this is on page 39. I'm looking at what it says, supply, repair and maintenance, $4,800. But then you go down to maintenance, what's the difference between repair and maintenance for $28,000? Page 39.
Repairs and maintenance.
What do you want to know?
No, what's the difference between repair and maintenance? You got two line items that says maintenance on it.
Right.
That's weird. Put it in.
Yeah, that's what,
It was on the
How much?
You don't know what that is?
4,000.
Okay, because I'm like, I knew it was 270.
And then the maintenance is 28,000.
The
33,000.
gas. Oh, you're talking about that part that was ordered in the gun? Okay, that was a supply. Okay, now see right here, insurance is zeroed out. I mean, they have to have liability, they have to have building insurance in place, it's zeroed out in 2025. How's that going? The insurance is paid out of the general fund, so that all of the insurance allocations are in general and administration. So it went from like 2024 under airport breakdown to audit 9,352, then 2025 it went zero. Yeah. So are they gonna have insurance in the building or? But we do also have gas that comes in, you know, for people's cells and stuff like that as well. I didn't see that. To my understanding, that is all under, I don't know how it's broken down there. It's all under the umbrella for paid to the general fund. So, well, yeah, I know, like, if dollars were received, like, you know, if like rents and stuff like that, or gas prices, or gas consumption. So it's not insured, but I know we have an umbrella policy that covers all of the buildings and everything, so that's all paid out of insurance. Okay. Again, let me say this too now, the numbers here, if the policy came due in August, September, then I didn't have an amount at the beginning of the year. So if that renews, anytime after June, then that would be something that I would have to amend, I'll add to the budget. Okay, because it also too, supply expenses went down a lot. Is there anything that's gonna filter for that, or just not spending any money? So, of course, in that, the supplies and expenses, that was fuel, so we hadn't had to buy fuel. We're not receiving any revenue from over there, so. Right, we bought that part, but they just never installed it at all. That's what that 48,000, they bought that part. Yeah, 48, they bought the part, but they never installed it. They just sitting in the warehouse somewhere. So, the council is supposed to be working on a contract with, someone to take over management for the, airport. So, is that the lighting one, or is it someone else?
With that, will be discussed on Tuesday at the meeting.
Okay.
Oh, no, this is the one that was tabled, I guess, unless it's another FBO you're trying to bring in. Because the other one was a management contract, and then one has to be for the distribution of fuel, any type of rents or anything like that. That was not an engineer. No, not the engineer. The engineer only deals with runway development, building, or any type of hangars that are supposed to be built. They have nothing to do with that at all.
I think he's referring to the company from out of Alabama that you all were trying to give a contract to run the airport. And I think it should be discussed today because we're talking about the budget. That's a budgetary item.
Yeah, because this doesn't show any type of money in terms of them collecting fuel and items or rents. It only talks about management. There's a whole separate item that comes into an FBO, which is fixed operator. So that's the people who manage the money like that. As the airport was in-house now, we manage all of that aspect, but in their contract, in the red, they don't handle it at all. They just do basic management and rents and whatnot. It's very loose on how it is, but there's a lot of aspects of the airport that's not even encompassed in this grant, in this budget right here that's going to give us a bid.
So we just about this one.
Okay, thank you.
What's the total for it? 95,000.
Debbie Carcetti, 764 Marshall Richardson Road. I have a question for Mr. Weary, which is kind of a follow-up to what Mr. Sanders was asking now. If your general fund is paying the totality of all property or liability insurances, are they not allocated towards each profit center or each location?
It just depends on how So the liability of the vehicles, all that's paid through the general fund because all of the majority of the vehicles are either public works, fire department, or police department. You don't need none of the other departments having the vehicles. So they are all funded out of the general fund. There's very few things within the city that is funded outside of general fund proceeds. Airport being one, this is airport expansion grant, but we also have, within the budget, an airport that's funded strictly out of the general fund. So no, this is the general fund. All right. We also have an airport expansion. So it is funded a function of the proceeds or expenses or expenditure in the general fund. So if you have in the general and administration, you see the totality of all of the insurance or majority of the insurance you're on.
So you're not keeping track of the revenue and expenses separately for the airport?
The airport is not generating any revenue, but it is.
What was the sale of gas?
None has been sold. We did. So it is a line item for fuel sales, fuel consumption, but we haven't been receiving anything.
So say there was fuel sales.
Yes.
You still wouldn't have an expense for insurance that goes.
But you gotta look at too is, even with the fuel sales, the fuel is not gonna generate enough revenue to fund the expenses at the airport. So for instance, in that budget, we had a salary, but that salary is not funded by the fuel, it's funded by the general fund. So the airport is not self-sufficient.
That's what I've been understanding.
Yeah.
The airport is actually, appears to be a liability to the city.
It provides a service, but it's not generated, it's not designed to be a profit center, so we have several expenses over there.
What about the grant?
That just doesn't, I don't know. I worked in accounting for a while and for companies that own multiple entities. And we always allocated insurance across the board, whether it was square footage of the property that was insured, if the insurance policy didn't outright come out and show the dollar amount for each location. They were always allocated either by square footage or head count.
So thank you.
About that, the airport is a profit center. The reason why I'm saying that is the airport I was there had accumulated over $15,000 in fuel sales, just fuel sales alone. If you go in the airport right now, there are planes sitting in that hangar.
Right.
They should not be sitting there for free. The actual amount that they were paying was $250 per space. So you get $250 a space, you get 6 planes, you average about $1,300 a month. You get $15,000 coming in revenue. Only reason why it's not getting any revenue out because it's perfectly shut down by the administrator. Because as you said, $4,800. This is not an argument. This is fact. $4,800 was the only thing needed to fix a part that was received. And what the city picked up because I did talk to the vendor that it was delivered back in March. And it was only a simple install to fix the avgas. The jet fuel is still working, and there's still planes coming down as we speak. So I'm trying to figure out how this doesn't have any money when you have 3 planes in the hangars at $250 a piece, at least $750 a month. Plus that's fuel still in that tank.
So let me just clarify this. If you look at the, if you get $750 a month, times 12 months, that's $9,000 a year. But if you look on page 39, if you look at the budget for the airport, we're talking $95,000. So it's not self-sufficient in the sense that that revenue is going to cover all the expenses. And again, this is without the other expenses that we had.
Right.
So one of the points we had employees there that were managing. So again, this actual department isn't designed to be a revenue gainer. We do want to make money, but the money that we generate, the funds that we generate, is not going to be enough to cover all the expenses that they have.
The majority of our expenses are even refundable. Actually, they go back to the state. They actually pay us everything that we put out.
We do get a tax.
Yeah, you know, we get that. Let's say, for instance, Matt, every October, you send our bills and everything in, and we refund that money too as well. So we really were operating at a zero expense after we got rid of the crazy AT&T bill. That was for $10,000 a month. That reduced everything down. And as you saw before, they're putting $65,000 in the utilities. Now that's way more than that, about 30 to 29. That's about $28,000 for that. We don't spend a lot there. We wouldn't spend a lot of money out there at all because everything was reimbursed by state and federal. So that's why I'm trying to figure out how is it losing money when it's actually a profit center with a managed property, which is the thing right there. It has not been managed and vacated. And the airport manager is in, well, y'all airport manager said it had left since July. It's in Alabama. So there's nobody there, and it's a chain lock gate on the door. So you won't have any type of revenues when it's not being managed properly.
Thank you, thank you.
Speaking on that point.
What about airport grants?
I think I agree with what Mr. Weary and Mr. Sanders are saying. Basically, Mr. Sanders is saying that the airport is a pass-through. We get our money back from the state, from the feds. What Mr. Weary is saying is right now, there is no money coming in from the airport. But what you all need to look into is there are still planes sitting in the hangars. Where is that money? Gas is clearly being used because the gauges have been turned around.
Right.
Who has access to the city's gas? Because we pay for that.
Right.
It's a lot of stuff that needs to be looked into, and we're researching in the wrong areas. Another major point of revenue that we're probably missing out on is Robertson Advertising in the industrial park. Last time I checked, they owed over, I think about $86,000. I think it's even more than that because I hadn't checked since like March. That's almost 6 figures that a company owes the city. If they're not able to pay their rent and get current on $86,000, they need to get out.
Right.
Thank you.
Right.
Mayor, you said you haven't checked into it. Is there a reason why you haven't checked into it? Because
Yeah, it's
you're
also,
still our mayor, and you still have to fluctuate. and you're
Internet
still
access.
paid. So if there's things that you are knowing, what are you doing to address that? And if you need, I know my duties and my responsibilities as a council person, but if you need someone to assist you to go out there, I definitely do not mind, because you know I'm all about Bogalusa and Bogalusa receiving revenue. And to go back to the airport, Mr. Sanders was spending a lot of time with me to answer questions that I had to show me, because I don't have any expertise in the airport. But the things that he was showing me was very informative, very educational, and things that I think all of us should know. We just took out the time to actually get with him and let him show us, and even moving forward, the new airport manager that may or may not be coming, just make sure that they're trained. We can't be trained in everything. Doctors are trained for different things, lawyers are trained for different things, social workers are trained for different things, nurses are trained. When you have persons who are willing to help you, look, you have to be like a sponge, you gotta suck it up. So I'm asking these questions because if you are aware of persons not paying, that is a right to anyone, the city of Bogalusa as a whole.
so you're asking me, what am I doing about it?
Well, yeah, or what could be done about it.
My question is, whose job is?
That's what we're trying
Mayor,
to fix, because as a mayor, if the mayor is aware that someone isn't paying, then what's the next step to make sure that they actually, pay their obligation to the city?
The fiscal administrator is also aware that this person is not paying their rent.
Thank you.
If he had internet, he could check it.
Right, I have access to public records. The reason why I have to check it is because there's so much going on. I have to put in a public record because money is finite. So, I'm having to pay for more important records.
Thank you, Mayor.
Mr. Earl? Thanks, Farrell, 1931 Dewitt Place. Councilors, you all are being played. In a big way, because number one,
this city have been getting grants after grants under the previous administration to run this city, to run the airport. That airport should be like the airport in New Orleans. Many times I done sit here and listen to the grants that came through here. Bogalusa being played. And number one, you all talk about giving away the airport to somebody out of Alabama or somewhere. If y'all do that, you all are sick. You do not get rid of no airport in your city. This is your airport. Keep your airport. And just like you all should have kept the park and recreation. Don't get turned park and recreation over to no private citizen. Like I told you all need to put your thing together. And which y'all do not have done. And another thing, the airport is generating money when this Troy and his group ran. They were generating money. And why all of a sudden, this administrator and his group can't generate money? They paying you all. Wake up and smell the coffee.
Okay, many of you have been up 2, 3, 4 times, and we're gonna have to, in our rules, it does say 1 time, but we want to hear what everybody is saying. We really do.
On this line item, so our airport is supposedly shut down in operation, like not in operation, right? Okay. Is there supposed to be aircraft going in and out of that facility? If it's turned off, if it's turned closed. Does anybody know if we're supposed to have aircraft going in and out of that facility if it's closed?
They coming in, I hear them.
Yeah, well, yeah, you live right over there by us. So, yeah, we see it all day, every day. So if it's closed and we're not making any revenue off of it, who's using it?
And they're
That's
with their own gas.
Those are mainly
We
military
don't have
jobs.
gas.
They can land in the airport closed off.
No.
Yeah, those are military jobs.
Okay, but if they're landing on our landing strip and, you know, putting wear and tear on our facilities, I mean, how are we recouping any of that? If it's closed, why are we allowing people to use it?
I understand it is closed.
Because that's something that I think
It's federal funding for an airport, so federal people can man it. That's what I would think. I don't know.
Well, I assume that's
It's federal funding from the airport, that's where the money comes from for that airport, federal funding.
I assume that's the reimbursement.
They can land there if they want to.
Well, I assume that's the purpose of the reimbursement process, correct? Is the federal reimburses us for the facility costs, and that allows them entitlement to the facility?
Where the federal funding comes from. We've been getting it in the past, I don't know if we're getting it now.
It's federal.
Okay.
John, it's federal and state. Your grandmother even knows this. Federal and state funded. Let's go back to the last fiscal administrators. He said he would put an X on it because the city $1 got there. Okay? And at that time, they cut it down to what, 15,000, what was it, the airport manager, whatever, cut it down, where it's part-time.
Yeah.
So we didn't know whether or not he was gonna allow that thing to continue to function.
Yeah.
But bottom line, at that time, federal, mainly DOTD, okay, we saw them the other day, they were there at the Baton Rouge DOT Aviation. And, they went into talks with them. It was very busy. But the thing is that those two pay for your thing. The only thing we're really paying for at the moment would be an airport manager's salary, or in this case, if we go into a contract that costs us money, you know, that's what we will have to pay.
So if we're receiving payments from the federal government to use that facility or just to reimburse that facility, do we have that reflected in our budget for this year?
That is
They didn't get it. They didn't get it.
Well, leading up to the fiscal administration, do we have any of that? That's what I'm curious about. Because I'm just curious if that could affect, you know, the cost of operations on the balance sheet.
Should be an outlay line, capital outlay.
I heard we didn't
I got a lazy eye. I'm not looking at you, but sometimes I look at Mr. Weary, so I don't know if you think I'm just picking on you, Mr. Dunaway. I'm just trying to get clarification.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, we did. We got about $600,000 to finish the 800 from federal and state funds, 571,000 from federal government and another 100 or so thousand from the state to include the 8.
Okay.
That was federal. Yeah. So
And that is reflected in the budget?
Money came this year.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
That's
Okay,
That is reflected in our budget.
Okay. You read up once, Mr. Sanford. Please.
There's $500,000, but also another $100,000 still just sitting there ready to be claimed. So that still hasn't been claimed at all. So there should be no out of pocket there for a period. Oh, no, you still can get it, you got to do something for it.
Thank you, Mr. Sanford. And Mr.
We did get the 100, but they limited, they took about 28,000 or so for something that we owe.
Okay, there's more things put in.
All right, so,
yeah.
Thank you.
Just a quick statement. You want to say something?
I was just gonna say, I was just gonna respond to Mr. Irvin because he seemed pretty adamant that those were military aircraft, and I'm adamant that it's not. At 11 o'clock at night, at 2 a.m. in the morning, I don't think any military is running drills at that time. If they are, I could be wrong. I just don't think that's military.
Personal.
Dropping down further.
Frustrated.
I just got a quick line.
Could you state your name and address, please?
Just April 1907, what my point is, with the airport is not bringing resources in that you guys are saying by being shut down, why us, you guys as council, don't try to get with the city administrator to kind of force his hand so we can open that airport back? We gotta extend it, solid data here, so why y'all try to look into stuff like that? This is the health of the city of Bogalusa. Why would we just let this airport sit out and bring it back, get some revenue from it? Because they got planes coming in now, we losing money anyway, because those that's coming in, those that's in that hangar, they're supposed to be able to be paying what? Is it monthly rent, quarterly, or what? You guys should know what it is. So if we can't seem to get all these figures together on this budget that you guys are trying to pass now, there's just so many questions and so many gaps here. The council itself, I think it should go back into a discussion. I think this budget should be tabled. Thank you.
Okay, with that being said, as I said earlier, I make a motion to amend the agenda. I did review the 2024 budget where IT is placed. It is under administration. And I make a motion to amend the agenda first of all. May I have a second? This is amended agenda to.
The mayor is taking the person out of the mayor's office.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes. You know we have to amend the agenda first, and then we'll make a motion to move this first. Okay, so roll call, please. On the amendment.
Councilwoman Smith? Aye. President Gates?
Aye.
Councilman Dunaway?
Aye.
Councilwoman Temple? Aye. Vice President Irvin?
Aye.
Thank you. And the second motion that I made is to move the IT person from the mayor's office to the administration, it says administration finance, which is where the IT person was in So I need a second on that. Roll call, please.
Councilwoman Smith? Aye. President Gates?
Aye.
Councilman Dunaway?
Aye.
Councilwoman Temples? Aye. Vice President Urban?
Aye.
Thank you. And, Mr. Woodward, I'm presuming, as we had said earlier, they moved that position to the other position. And as we're gonna have amendment, for the new budget coming out in 2026, we will be looking more closely on where people are, during that time period. So, thank you, council, for that. Our next, vote will be the vote on the budget, the actual budget itself, and,
Right, not the 19th, we voted for it. They amended two things.
yes, I do make a motion that we, vote on the adopted budget. Roll call.
Councilwoman Smith?
That's the law, you got two amendments, you got two amendments. You can't-
Hold on, please, what's going on, what's the?
Let them do it.
Okay, please, the law, continue, please.
Sorry, you better veto it. It's the law.
Well, I said it. So we're voting. Okay, I don't know why, please, audience, hold on while we conduct the business, please.
President Gates?
Aye.
Councilman Dunaway?
Aye.
Councilwoman Temples? Aye. Vice President Urban?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. I will, any announcements for tonight?
Yeah, just broke the law.
If there are not any announcements, our next meeting will be on September 16th. Meeting adjourned.
That's against the law. They have 14 days that they have to come back.